video will teach you how to cite an organization as an author, specifically how to cite information obtained from the Bureau of Labor and Statistics Occupational Outlook Handbook. I know that for this career exploration report assignment, I will need a references page as well as use embedded citations. So the first thing I want to do is refresh my memory for what information I need for a standard reference. So I'm going to go to our course. I'm going to go to the APA section, look at references page, and I'm going to scroll down for reference information needed. Okay, so I know I'm going to need my author, date, title of article, source, pages, volume, issue number, DOI, web address, and publication. All right. For the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, it's not a journal, so I know that I'm not going to need the DOI. Instead, I am going to need a web page. So I know that this is the information that I'm going to start looking for at the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. So let's start right now taking a look at what the Occupational Outlook Handbook is going to provide us. Okay, I'm looking for my author, and I'm looking and I'm scrolling down. And what I'm noticing is there is really no author for this particular web page. So what do I do for that? Well, this is a government agency where a team of writers are employed to gather and record information. So I'm not going to have one specific author on a page like this. Instead, I'm going to use the Bureau of Labor and Statistics as my author on our references page. It's going to look just like this. The next thing that I'm going to look for is the date. Now, on the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, they have an About BLS webpage, which is going to tell you a little bit about the information that I'm going to need. So I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to notice that this page was last modified on April 11th, 2019. That's the information that I'm going to use now for my date. So let's go ahead and type this in to the references page. Okay, that's where I am now. I've got my author and I've got my date. The next thing that I want to find is the title of the article. Now this is where it's going to get a little bit tricky. I'm in education, so in the Occupational Outlook Handbook, I'm going to go into education. I'm going to scroll down and look at that. I'm an instructional coordinator, so I'm going to look at instructional coordinators and their information. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to say, all right, in my career exploration report, I want to find out what instructional coordinators do, and I want to know their daily duties. Right away, I notice that this is valuable information that I want to use in my career exploration report. But for my references page, I know that I need the title of the article. So for this particular website, I'm going to use my job category, Instructional Coordinators, and I'm going to use the tab here, this title here, What Instructional Coordinators Do. And I'm going to use these two things as the title of my article. And I'm going to type it in sentence format so that it looks exactly like this. Instructional coordinators, notice it's sentence format, so only the I is capitalized, a colon, and then what instructional coordinators do as the title of my web page. Since this is after a colon, the W is capitalized. I have a period after my title of article. All right, we've got that. Now, I need the source. We don't have one. The source is the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, and it's our author, so we don't need to do that again. We don't have any pages, a volume, or an issue number because it's not a journal. We already said we don't have a DOI. Our publication is the government, so it's the Department of Labor and Statistics. Again, we don't need to repeat it. So let's talk about the web address. I'm going to go then to my Bureau of Labor and Statistics. I'm going to copy this web address, copy it, And then I'm going to use my retrieve from. Oops. And then I'm going to paste the website here. So now I have my full citation for this particular web page. Notice that if I have my page set up correctly and my hanging indent ready to go, that the overflow of the web page address is automatically going to tab in. So I don't need to worry about that. Let's go back to the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. I know that for this report, I'm going to want to find out a variety of information from this website. So the other two areas that I'm going to explore are going to be the summary area, where I'll probably need this information here, and I'm going to be using the pay tab. For this kind of information, for each tab that I use in my report, I will need to create a separate reference for each. So, since I'm using pay and summary, let's take a look at what that's going to look like. Okay. Notice that I have Bureau of Labor and Statistics 3 times. For each one, I have created, or for each tab, I have created a separate reference. So I've got summary, what instructional coordinators do, and pay. These are my 3 different titles of my articles. So since Bureau of Labor and Statistics is going to be the author for all 3 of these, I need to make sure that my references page is in alphabetical order, and I also need to be able to distinguish these really easily for my reader. So how am I going to put this in alphabetical order? Well, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at my title, because the author is the same, the year is the same. So I'm going to look at my title and I'm going to alphabetize by the title. All right. So I'm going to highlight these for you just so that you can see what each of these looks like as we go through. All right. The first thing that I'm looking at is I'm looking at pay. So P comes before S and W. I'm going to cut that, and I'm going to paste that as my first one. Oh, there went my hanging indent. Now I have PWS. That's not right. The next one that I need then is I need to put it in alphabetical order. And I'm going to paste the summary in there next and make sure that my spacing is all still correct. So I've got pay first, summary second, and what instructional coordinators do third. Now, that's great. I'm in alphabetical order. But there's one more step that I need to take in order to make sure that I'm distinguishing each of these for my reader, and also to make sure that my embedded citations are correct. So once I have all of this in alphabetical order, I'm going to go and right next to my date, I'm going to start lettering them in alphabetical order. And this is now what I'm going to use for my embedded citation. So when I cite from each of these, I'll have a different year, and my reader can go directly right here to my references and say, oh, okay, the A means that she got it from the pay area. The B means is that she got the information from the summary area, and the C indicates that she got it from the What Instructional Coordinators Do webpage. Okay? So not only am I going to be putting the references in alphabetical order according to the title of the article, but I am also going to be labeling my years for my embedded citations with A, B, and C, so in alphabetical order. If you have a D and an E, that's fine. However many you need in order to complete your references and complete the information for your report. That's it. My reference page is now complete. I do not need to include the personal communication on the references page because personal communications cannot be retrieved at a later date, so it doesn't need to be on the references page. It is, however, going to need to be in my embedded citations. So to learn how to use this reference as an embedded citation, go on to the next video, using the Bureau of Labor and Statistics embedded citations. Good luck!